Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm from PE. My entire family is from Durban. We all have the same cultures and the way we cook and stuff the same as all the people in Durban. We just don't talk the same.
So I'm Natasha September. I've got two daughters aged 21 and 18.
No wife, no kids. I'm not a bachelor. There's no such thing as a bachelor in an Indian home. You're mommy's boy until you get married. As a kid, my mom would put me on the kitchen counter as a toddler and I would just watch her chop up everything, watch her use the spices and get all those amazing smells.
Age of 13, I started to cook. There was times that I used to hate weekends because it was either baking day or cooking day. And trust me, if I had to get the recipe wrong, and this is the honest truth, I'd have to throw this recipe down the drain and start all from over.
What's for dinner today? That's a common thing you'll hear all day. It can end up in arguments, but it's something common in the Indian home.
I'm teaching my daughters to cook, and I think they're getting there. I love the idea coming home, coming up the stairs and smelling the food so I know that supper is served.
There's a family group that know about this and they've already told me what to do for them with the prize money. But that's my family, the Chetty clan, that's how we roll.
So that person cooking my meal should get it right because this recipe comes 75 years down my family line. So they should know their story, or they will incur the wrath of my great-grandmother, and I don't want to be that person.
So Andrew, it's the day is upon us. You ready to cook? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I am a little worried about the recipe, obviously because I haven't seen it.
Are you tonight going to take time beforehand to read and study the recipe, or are you going to dive straight in with the steps and just go?
I'll first check the ingredients. The ingredients will tell me exactly what I'm doing. I did bring some of my own spices.
Have you stashed them, hidden them away?
I have them hidden. But I will ask permission. I will ask permission because I wouldn't want anyone to take or add to my recipe. So,
I think the family is ready. They're going to taste some...
I hope they're hungry.
Well, it depends on how long you take. They could end up very hungry.
Andrew is about to cook for a family he's never met. It's a recipe that's been passed down 3 generations, and he's about to see it for the very first time. Talk about pressure.
Welcome. Come meet my family.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
I'm
My
Andrew.
daughter Sabira.
Nice to meet you, Sabira.
Hi, Tash.
Tash, nice to meet you. Samir, very nice to meet you.
So I've introduced you to my family, so welcome to my kitchen.
Thank you very much. You have a beautiful kitchen.
I'm sure you're going to have some fun here. So here we go, that's your recipe.
Thank you very much. Check it out. Sweet and sour butterbean curry.
Alright, so my recipe originates from my grandmother, which is 94 years old, still living, very vibrant and loves going out. My great-grandmother has taught my great-grandmother how to cook this traditional sweet sour butterbean curry. Sound familiar?
It does. The curry part definitely sounds familiar. I just hope I hold the nerve to get it all right.
Alright, so go for it.
All right, you've met the family. You've met the kitchen. What did the recipe feel like when you opened it?
It felt very tasty.
Let's see what she's given you to work with.
Let's do that. Let me just remove this jacket. Okay, we've got the vinegar, turmeric, crushed chilies, white sugar, 2 onions. These are curry leaves, oil. This should be cumin.
All right, so you got a bit of a feel for the style of curry.
I've never cooked this curry before or seen it before. So I'm assuming that it's her own recipe or from a family member.
My grandmother has taught her daughters and my aunt has taught us to cook this meal, and I'm proud to say for the past 73 years, this meal is still going strong in our family.
Oh, I like this a lot.
You have no objection to some butterbean influence?
No.
All right.
I do have a little bit of objection to that. because I'm not really a baker.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where the flour comes in, but I'll get to that when I go through. Oh, there we go, mini roti. But the roti can become complicated. I hope they don't expect my roti to be round.
Remember, you've got a lifeline. You can ask Natasha at any time during the recipe, but only once to explain something. All right, good luck.
Thank you very much, Roland.
Here we go.
Let's first get the pot out. Here we go. This looks like the one here. I need a pan for the rotis. There's nothing here. Not here. Nope. I could use this here. This will work. I brought my knife. I always feel very comfortable using this. Let's get started with these onions. Do onions make me cry? Not since I've been wearing contact lens. Contact lens, this is another secret. You don't cry any tears at all. This knife I've had for about 2 years. I use it for everything. Even if it's something small, I still find my way around it. I just feel comfortable. I like the weight it has. Even biltong, yo, this has seen many a kudos. Let's just check if this method said diced or rings or what. It's okay, it just says chopped. So I think we're just going for roughly diced onions. It's a lot of onions for one dish, but that's how this recipe goes. We normally make it with one onion, even if it's a massive pot. I'll be very keen to try it. Always love trying new recipes, especially with butter beans. Natasha definitely had me at butter beans. One of my favorite beans. Should be mild. But we do have some of these crushed chilies for extra heat that goes in at the end. The first rule with heat is to put the toilet paper in the freezer. Chicken cut into cubes. Okay, let's get back.
Andrew puts his rather expert cutting skills to work on the chicken.
Natasha's family normally enjoy, so I'll just go for bite-sized cubes here. We enjoy chicken on the bone, the dark meat. We believe that we get more flavor out of the bony parts. So I'll do some bite-sized, some slightly bigger. Normally when we have chicken breast, we make nice big pieces. It helps it stay moist, you know, if you're cooking it for a longer period of time. It's a bit silent here. Normally I always have some good music going on while I'm cooking. It just gets me flowing in the element. I always tell my mates, DJing and cooking is the same thing for me, because I mix flavors like I mix music. If you understand anything about it, it can be quite complicated. Same like with flavors and ingredients. You give some, you take some, and you make a masterpiece in the end. Okay, so back to the recipe. Okay, I think we're done with all our prep work. Besides the rotis, we need a nice bowl for that. For the rotis, we need 250 grams of cake flour, cup of flour. Rotis are very intimidating because you can never get them round if you're a guy. You can't do it. Well, you can, I can't. People do actually, I can't. Can't get them round. So what I do is I make square rotis. So we're gonna go with a teaspoon of salt. I think that should be fine. 60 grams of butter. So what does this thing weigh? 250. I'm gonna have to find the scale here to make it exact, because rotis, as simple as the recipe is with the ingredients, you have to be quite tactical. So if the measurements aren't quite right and things don't look hunky-dory, I will fix them just by the way the spices will come into play, and if I'm making a gravy or something grilled, I'll definitely have to compensate wherever I should. Scale, 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 scale. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Got my scale. Butter. Let's say that should be about 60. Do you want to come have a look at this? It's 70, that piece. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. A little bit of extra butter, it doesn't hurt anyone, except for me. Okay.
After some precise prep, Andrew is ready to cook. But first, his secret stash.
I do have a box of tricks here. I will, however, ask permission if I can use them, because I wouldn't want anyone taking anything or adding anything to my recipe. But it's simple replacements. It's just freshly ground, like the ginger and garlic, for example.
For the past 73 years, it has been in existence in our family, and I would like it to remain as is, and that strength, and I wouldn't want add-ons and left-outs on my recipe.
Ooh, let's have a look at the method first before we just get stuck in here. Place onions until transparent and medium, so obviously you have to put in your oil first. Opening the turmeric is very, very critical. It could get everything yellow. You can definitely make sure whether the person's amateur or not when he opens the turmeric. Get the onions in, but I'm going to change it a little bit because I like to flavor my oil first, so the whole pot tastes with the same ingredients. Cumin, I've got the whole cumin here.
He adds the cumin before asking.
Not too much, but you know. Curry leaves also. So basically my whole spices I put in first in the oil, not the powdered. The powdered will burn. These are magical. Curry leaves, they are magical and essential to Indian cuisine. It really smells amazing. Okay, we'll add our onions in, and since it's chicken and there's no tomatoes or anything else, I'm gonna add a little sprinkle of this. I don't think they'll know. It's called ajma. I don't know what to call it in English, but we use it mainly with chicken. But just a tiny, like that. That's all. Okay, there we go, onions in. We'll go with a nice old school wooden spoon. Ankle beaters from the past. Have you felt a wooden spoon before? The joy. Okay, we'll let these go nice and transparent. Okay, so we're just waiting for these onions. We'll turn the heat back up. Get them nice and crispy or golden brown. You brown anything, it gives a really nice flavor. Okay, let's get our masala ready here. So we're using Raja curry powder, the medium heat tonight. Obviously the family enjoys medium cooked food.
So myself and my eldest daughter, we prefer heat. My husband and the youngest daughter doesn't prefer heat. There's always complaints at the supper table. I'm so over it, I just roll my eyes back into 2016 and I say eat.
Turmeric is ready. This is also an essential ingredient to Indian cuisine and most curries, or all curries, I think. I have white kitchen and it's had its yellow days. It's had its yellow days. I'd like to pull a lifeline here and ask Natasha a question. It's a simple question. I don't know if I should have used a lifeline, but it's too late now. Natasha,
Let's see.
one question. I don't see any ginger or garlic in here. I just want to know if I could add in a little, or does the recipe usually not have any?
From where?
From where?
Look, stick to that recipe, eh? Stick to that recipe. To be safe, stick
From
to
here.
that recipe.
But if you want me to stick to it without the ginger and garlic, no problem. I will do that.
I think that's a no, Andrew.
But this recipe doesn't ask for garlic and ginger. So I never put garlic and ginger when I cook this. Unless I cook it with steak, then I'll add in garlic and ginger. So I don't want to be nasty and say, no, you can't add in.
Okay, at least I haven't used my lifeline yet. I think we are good to go with the chicken. Right in there. Just mix that around. Then at the same time, we first will cook that till the water evaporates. And then the powdered spices go in. Okay, so let's get some water boiling so we don't slow down any of the cooking with cold water. So we'll boil the water for the curry and for the rotis in one go. There we go. Nice lights there. Check it out. So I don't have any music here while I'm cooking tonight, but I do have a little disco light in the kettle. So at least I got my mixer here in my decks tonight. Check it out. Oh, I nearly put that off there. Okay, now we're still good. The water is still coming out of this chicken. When the water's out of the chicken, it will start here, it's starting to sizzle, and then you know you're good to add the spices. So we've already got the cumin in there, we've already got the curry leaves in there. We'll turn our heat down low again so we don't burn these spices. Let's get this Raja curry powder in here. We're gonna go with 1, 2, and a nice big 3. There we go. Turmeric, just a teaspoon I think of this. Let's just make sure. Half a teaspoon. Oh, remember, careful here guys. That should be good. Okay. We'll give this a nice stir. The aroma should be very good. That's gonna come out of here now. Keen to try this recipe at home for my family. They love butter beans.
So let me tell you, it took me 3 attempts to cook this meal. And after my 3 attempts I failed, I physically took my pot and my ingredients down to my aunt, and she had to show me how to make this recipe. So if your ratios is not correct, you can forget about the pot being a meal.
Okay, so all our spices are in. We got it on low heat. And now we're gonna add our vinegar and water and sugar. And our beans later. Vinegar, half a cup. We'll first wait for this to thicken a bit. I have a WhatsApp group with a bunch of my friends. And the WhatsApp group is called Seven Delanis. But they've given me a lot of support up till this night. So thank you guys. Half a cup of vinegar. That should be good. I think we'll go for that one. Okay. So we got our water and our vinegar in. We want to get our sugar in as well. The sugar's 250 grams. Quarter cup. So that'll be a quarter of 250. We're just gonna
Estimate?
That should be good. We'll keep tasting to make sure everything is balanced here. Shouldn't be gentle. We don't want to break this chicken breast and make a big porridge here. We're gonna definitely cook this on a low heat. All it needs now is the beans and obviously tasting. And the chili flakes, let's not forget that. We'll put it right here. And then I'll go to work on these rotis, because they need to rest as well before we make the little balls and roll them out. So what we're going for here is a crumbly texture with the butter and the flour. The recipe did say 1 cup of flour. Yeah, did. Let's just check on our chicken there. It's going nice and slow. We'll just leave that open so that some of that water can evaporate. So we want to taste this so that we know where we stand here.
What's the verdict?
Oh, that is lovely. Definitely get that vinegar. We'll make a little well here in the middle. Very critical part this. With the water, we don't want to get too much in there. So we'll just slowly add some water in there and get a form of dough in here. You don't want to put too much, rather too little. You can always add more. So since my lifeline, the answer I got back from that was a no, I've took the initiative to opt for another lifeline, the second one. My question is, when you add your butter beans, do you add it with the gravy inside here? No. Okay, that was a good question. That is my lifeline done. Thank you very much. With the lifelines, they all came back with the same answer, which was no. May I use a little bit of ginger and garlic? No. Do you have a spatula? Maybe. Do you use the sauce of the beans? No. Can I have another lifeline? No. Every lifeline she answers no.
It's finally time to add the all-important butter beans.
That's 1 can. Let's just make sure it said 2 cans and not 1.5. 2 cans. Gently mix this in. It smells divine. Okay, so the roti dough looks like it's coming out nicely. We'll just leave it to rest for a little while. I don't think we'll be able to leave it for a full half an hour because then our food might get cold. Okay, that still has to cook down a bit. I think that's fantastic. I don't think it needs anything.
Andrew keeps it clean like he does when he
We
DJs.
keep the DJ booth spick and span, always no drinks around the DJ booth, please guys. So one other thing I like to do as well for the rotis is just brush them with some butter after they're done or just before they come off the pan. It just gives it that richness, that melt in the mouth richness. There we go, like a professional, like a pro. There we go. I don't know if you can see that smiley face in there. That's just to boost my own confidence. We don't want to forget about this and let it dry out too much. But I think it should go off now. But it should get a little bit thicker, I think. I hope. I wonder if I'll have another lifeline.
Not likely. The answer has been no twice before.
I would love them to have my meal to the closest, and I'll obviously see and taste how close it does come to my recipe. We wouldn't want the meal to be placed in the plate and we have all this water that's running. So I would also know if something's not right or something was not cooked correctly.
Okay, this curry is going to go off in a few seconds. But as it cools down, it should get thicker as well. Very fine line between cool and hot and lukewarm. We want it to get a little bit thicker. It will as it cools down. But you don't want to eat cold food. We'll just switch this over here because I like this side of the DJ box. The left side of our booth here for my greatest eats, not my greatest hits.
I see what you did there.
Okay, so we're gonna make little balls. 1, 2. That one might be a little bit too small there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now the trickery begins with this rolling thing. I'm not even gonna try to roll around roti. I'm just gonna make rotis. My sister and my mom were panicking if they see rotis here because they all know how much I don't like rolling them. Oh wait, there's something happening here. Okay, that roti is gonna be shaped like that, like a heart. Okay, Roland, this is gonna be your one. I'm happy with my oblong square root of square rotis. So we didn't have a compass to make it perfectly round, so we took the square roti. Okay, gentle, gentle. Let's not panic too much here. It's just a roti. Getting some shape there. So this is the actual authentic roti that's not round.
My mom has a roti a factory that supplies rotis. So we're used to the shape being round, but if we have all sizes shapes, I think it will be okay.
Is there a secret for getting them round?
Yeah, it's you have to roll, twist, twist. So yeah.
I could take the time to neaten these rotis up, but I think the family won't mind about the shape of the roti. Oh, I certainly hope so. Let's get this thing going here. Okay, so we'll just melt some butter here. I like doing our rotis on a dry pan and then basting them with butter after. Lovely melted butter.
How's it going here?
It's going smooth. I just want to know if I can get another lifeline maybe?
You've reached your quota.
Surprise, surprise. She said no.
I'm just making this hot. The food is already done. Have a look. Let's hope it looks something like what you make. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The nerves. Okay, let's hope it tastes good at least, guys. Here we go, guys. This is the true test. Boom, on the dry plate. You should see it starting to bubble up. We'll coat this with some lovely butter. You should smell them. And that's your roti done. A lot of people, like in my home, everyone likes to try the roti on its own while it's hot off the pan before they even get into the meal, because it's a beautiful thing. Stove off. Last flip for the boys. And here we go.
Looks like you've already half cleaned up here. Does that mean we're near the end?
We are at the end of the cooking. That is, I am excited to see how close I got the recipe because I got a little ums and ahs from Natasha. So
Well, the challenging part I can foresee is the correct consistency of the gravy, the color of the food.
Are you going to plate it up, or how does it traditionally get served, do you think?
In my home, we normally dish it up ourselves, but I'll be more than welcome to dish it up if that's how they do it in there. And now for the special ingredient for this curry that goes in last. So, what do you think?
It looks good. I'm not going to lie, that looks really good.
So they said just 1 teaspoon, or half a teaspoon. So that should be half a teaspoon. We'll sprinkle that over the top, and that's our garnish for today. Okay, everybody, the dinner's ready. I hope everyone's hungry and ready to eat. I'll bring it right now.
Is the smell like even close? Is it there? Oh, okay, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Okay, the main dish. Here we are. So hope it looks great.
Wow.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys are gonna use forks and knives or knives and forks, but we have our curry with our hands, especially with rotis. So here we are. Please dig in, guys. I'll bring the spoons now.
Not going to need those. You don't have bibs for visitors that are not trained.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. Okay, I think everybody can dig in.
Anxious moment for Andrew as the family tastes their first bite.
Normally when there's silence, it's a good thing. It means they're enjoying the food, so I'm banking on that. Are you guys finding the food okay?
Shame, it is his first time cooking this meal, so I don't expect it to be that close. But he's no way close with this meal. I won't say it was a bad try, I won't say it's a good try either. The curry, the masala is not tangy.
Okay.
Okay, and your vinegar and the sugar, yeah, it's not balanced. Okay. You get more a tangy of the vinegar taste. The consistency is quite runny, so it should have been thicker. It was too runny. What I think what went wrong was he left the pot closed, and when you leave that pot closed and it's cooking, it draws water.
I try to stick to the recipe as much as I can, and I think I did. My host and a family, they didn't look too happy.
Roti is a flakier roti than this. Also,
it's supposed to be a bit more flakier.
Flakier. Also, when you pull it in that, it's more elastic.
It's a bit too doughy for you.
Yeah.
I think he overpowered the roti with too much flour. It wasn't flaky. It was almost like it was crumbly.
I am exceptionally proud, and my family won't hear the end of it. I've got pictures and everything. I think I did a stunning job on the rotis.
Look, my roti is not that round or perfect as well, but yeah, I think his roti is shaped a little better than my roti. You're not supposed to see the onions here.
Is it?
Yeah, the onions, you braise the onions, transparency, and then you add in your chicken. Some of the beans cooked away.
There's still little beans in.
Samir did say he would have liked more beans. I think I heard him correctly, but if he did, I mean, this recipe has 2 tins of beans and I put them all in. Well, I can only do better next time.
Exactly, but it's not too bad.
Thank you. Yeah, but otherwise, I had a great time tonight, guys. Thank you very much for your hospitality. I'll sigh a deep sigh of relief. I started off confident. Towards the very end, I was second guessing myself.
Andrew, it was nice having you in my home tonight.
Thank you
so
so
much. You
much.
had a great time in my kitchen this evening.
It was loads of fun. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, you're welcome. We'll see you soon tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is part 2. We see how you're going to do as the family, and you're going to do as the cook.
It's going to be excellent.
You'll relax more.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
We'll see
See
you
you
Bye-bye.
then. Bye-bye. Feel calm tonight, but I know tomorrow night I'm going to be hot in that kitchen.
There is a couple of more steps in my recipe. If she sticks to it, she should get it right. It's going to come down to gravy versus gravy.
Watch next time to see how the challenge of the curries and gravies pans out when Natasha cooks Andrew's recipe.